So in this video, I want to talk about play and what play is, what it means, and how we can access it, and well, really how we avoid accessing it in most of our lives. Now, to me, play is, I define play as something that is done for its own sake. Play is for itself. And I recently came across the terms telic and atelic, which I think cover a similar idea, but I haven't dug into that yet, so maybe next time. But when you play, there's no higher purpose, there's no reason for it. It's something that you do for its own sake. And if you ask a child who's running around the back garden or something, why are you playing? You'll get a confused look in return. It's self-evident why I'm doing this, because I'm doing it for itself. It's fun. And this really gets me thinking about how much of our lives we spend not doing that. How many things we do in life that have another reason for doing them. So I go to the gym because I want to be stronger, healthier, fitter, more attractive, whatever. Not because I enjoy it. I like moving, I like lifting things. That's there as well, potentially, but there's always something else. There's often something else. Or making videos like this. Why am I doing this? Well, because I enjoy it. In the sense, I'm doing it for its own sake. That's playful. Or to grow an audience, to develop my thinking, to improve my skills in making videos. Now, both of those are fine, and I have no complaint with anyone who does things for their own sake versus having a reason for doing things. But it's important to recognize, I think, that if you are driven, or at least in my case, if I'm driven by doing something for the sake of something else, that can very easily make it not playful. It becomes a must. It becomes important that I do the thing. I should on myself, to use language I've seen referenced elsewhere. And I think that this fundamentally changes the character of the experience, the way I engage with it. My entire way of being is oriented differently when I'm doing something for its own sake versus when I'm motivated by something else beyond it. And I have a strong suspicion that humans are at their best when they can access play. We are most creative, we are most fully alive, we can contribute the most to the existence of things when we are in a playful state. And bringing in too much of this, well, I must do something because it's important that I do it, that constrains us, that limits us, that closes us down and shuts us down in some way, that is very hard to notice in the moment, apart from a sense of mild resentment, of a lack of vitality that we can't quite put our finger on. So I've been playing with this a lot in my life, and even with my coaching clients, is how do you access play while doing things that also have other reasons for doing them? And for this, I've been thinking about how can you make something playful? How can you make a thing that you want to do something that you would do for its own sake? So let's say that you want to exercise and you want to gain a few kilos, lose a few kilos as well, make some more units there. But if you're doing, I don't like myself now, I want to look better, it's a very different feel because I just really enjoy running around. I just really enjoy lifting heavy things and how I feel. And it's something that I would do for its own sake, regardless of the benefits. And for me, this is changing how I relate to day-to-day activities, even like making videos. Let's use that as an example. When I made a couple of more polished, bigger videos, it became less fun. I was thinking, oh, I've got to script it, I have to edit it, I have to blah, 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 all these things. And suddenly it became not playful. It became a thing that I had to do, a chore in some way. And I had a couple of good videos in that sense, but I stopped making them. I stopped churning out stuff that I enjoy making. So how can I change the rules of the game? Because that's what playing is, right? You're involved in a game. How can I change the rules of that game in a way to make it feel playful again? What do I have to change? Do I have to change the difficulty? Do I have to change the frequency? Do I have to change the expectations on myself? if I can figure out all the things that are implicit in my mind that make it not playful, not a fun game, then I can figure out how to change those things in such a way as the thing I'm doing will feel fun, and it'll become something that I want to do for its own sake. This video right now, I just want to make it. I'm not thinking about growing an audience. I'm not thinking about how I'll edit this one or anything like that. I just want to say this. I'm enjoying talking to the camera. And it's so easy to get stuck over and over again in, oh, well, that went well. Better do that again. Oh, hang on, that's not for its own sake, though. That's repeating it. That's achieving something. There's something else in there that gets in the way and prevents anything new from coming up. When you're playful and you don't have a plan for how something will go, new stuff can come up. Surprising stuff can come up. Unplanned for stuff can come up by definition. And as soon as you let go of the need to achieve a specific, particular thing, then something else does show up. And that thing, whatever that thing is, I think is fundamental to the human creative process. And more broadly to the advancement of humanity and the well-being of all of us. That doesn't mean we can't have plans. It doesn't mean we can't move in a particular direction. It just means that we should recognize that the more we try and force ourselves to behave and create and produce and be in a certain kind of way, the more we are limiting this other thing, which tends to show up in the absence of those pressures. So this video is, I guess, as much for me as it is for you. I'm currently working on my online course for Alexander Technique. I'm feeling a bit stuck, and I'm realizing that's because I have an image in my mind of how each thing should be, or in the absence of knowing exactly how each video should be, I can't carry on. When in fact, the reason the first one worked so well was because I didn't really have that frame. I was just, oh, this is interesting, this is fun, let's make this. And not worry too much about it being hyper polished or exactly the right sentences or the right words or fumbling or whatever. I was doing it for its own sake. I'm doing this for its own sake. So I'm going to invite myself and encourage myself back into that state of play, and I invite you to do the same. What thing can you make easier, simpler, more fun, such that you actually want to do it, therefore you will do it? I'm looking forward to hearing from you in the comments. See you next time.